Happy October 31st, 2022. Today you're going to see one of the scariest things ever. Today I'm showing you a Benchmade 535-191 Bugout Gold Class Axis Lock knife with ghost carbon fiber scales and blue C-Tech inlays. If you pay close attention, it isn't just the blue C-Tech inlays that are glowing. Look at the entire length of the scales. The scales glow the same on both sides, but if you pay close attention, you'll also see the axis lock bar and thumb stud are glowing in blue. Those are from Glow Rhino. There's something about the Bugout Gold Class that I absolutely enjoy, and it's mostly the scales. Although the Damascus blade is amazing, look at the blade that I received from Knives Plus, and then imagine that blade in the Benchmade Bugout Gold Class scales. The disassembly and reassembly of these products requires precision tools. As you can see, I'm using the proper tools to accomplish what it is that I'm doing here. In addition to the risk of being cut by the super sharp blades that are now exposed, there's also the risk of losing the tiny screws that come with these items. So make sure you're on a proper workbench where you're not going to lose these tiny pieces. The process of swapping one blade out for another in the Benchmade Bugout does not require a complete breakdown of the product. However, you do need to press out the pivot assembly so that you can slide the blade out and replace it with whatever blade you're going to put into the new body. In this case, I use a tiny Allen wrench to press through the eye hole of the pivot area, which basically allows me to remove this piece without any trouble. Here you see one of the two washers that sandwiches the blade between the guts of the knife. And here you can see the internal pivot assembly, and if you use a little bit of imagination, you can imagine how to reassemble the knife back together using that pivot. For some, the process of swapping out a blade on a gold class knife is probably the scariest part of this assembly. For others, it might be losing the tiny pieces that are required for the reassembly of such a valuable item. For me, the scariest thing was basically not knowing what I'm going to do with that Damascus blade going forward. For my next to the last step in completing this item, I needed to swap out the blue thumb stud that was included with this amazingly stone-washed, acid-etched blade with the Glow Rhino thumb stud that was on the Damascus blade. Now that I've completed that step, the only thing left is to reattach the pocket clip, and this build will be complete. So let me know in the comments, did this scare you? Do you think that this looks more amazing or less amazing than the originally intended gold class vision that was built by Benchmade themselves? For me personally, I believe that the darker, stone-washed, acid-etched blade more closely matches the scales that are already on this beautiful knife. I hope this build didn't scare you on this spooktacular evening, and I hope you enjoy this treat. Be sure to let me know in the comments how you think I should use that Damascus blade. And also check out the description on this video for additional information about the tools and parts needed to complete this build. Thank you so much for watching. Thanks for sharing. Thanks for caring. Until next time, peace, love, and all that old school stuff. Stay sharp, and like Knives Plus says, watch those fingers.